Hello, my name is Kathy, and today I'll be talking about building your own float house or island out of recycled plastic bottles. I just came across this concept the other day, and I thought it was a terrific idea. There is a man in Australia that has built his own tropical island out of recycled plastic bottles. The idea of it just got all kinds of creative juices flowing in me. And I will include a lot of pictures at the end of this video, so your creative juices will flow as well. The island is called Spiral Island. It has sandy beaches and can be moved or docked anywhere in the world. It was built with over 100,000 old recycled plastic bottles. It is the second island that the man has created out of recycled plastic bottles. His first island was over 250,000 plastic bottles, all bundled together in plastic mesh bags and used as the floating base of his island. On top of this, he put plywood and bamboo that formed the ground of his island, and then covered it all with wood pellets and sand. Now it's over 50 feet in diameter and a wonderful use for old plastic bottles. This particular island has had a multi-story home with a solar oven, 3 showers, a kitchen, 2 bedrooms, a wave-powered washing machine, and the internet. Self-composting toilet, multiple beaches, as well as a variety of lush tropical plants and trees. It's really amazing. He also created a way to collect rain for his running water, and he has built a ferry out of recycled plastic water bottles to ferry himself and others back and forth to the land. What captured my imagination in particular about this man's man-made island was in the durability of the plastic bottles. When I was in my 20s and living in logging communities up the coast of British Columbia, I would hear the stories of the old-time married quarters, which consisted of small homes built on floats. I was enchanted by the story of life on these float houses and always wanted to live in such a dwelling at some point in my life. The major trouble with these homes, though, was in the floats themselves. The floats were made with tree trunks, and with the passage of a few years, these wooden logs would become saturated and would be less and less buoyant. In other words, the homes sank. At this point, the person living in the float house would have to either see the end of their home on the water, or else go through the incredibly costly expense of putting more logs under their floating home. You might get away with doing this a couple of times at most before the float itself becomes unrealistically unwieldy. Not good at all. Then came things like metal and cement pontoons. Now these work well, and styrofoam-filled pontoons, which seems even more durable as far as the flotation principle of the matter goes. But they all cost so much money, and this was just for the actual float itself. Then you would have the cost of constructing your dwelling on top of it all. It all seemed like just too much for me. Then this concept of using old plastic bottles came up, and it was just like a light bulb going off. This was definitely the answer. The float itself could be made for virtually nothing, and added to that was the fact that the hundreds of thousands of old plastic bottles could be put to a very good purpose and not end up in a landfill somewhere. To me, this is a win-win situation. Plus, you could make your main float any size you wanted and could expand on it. Or you could make several floats that would serve different purposes, one even perhaps being a vegetable garden. And the idea of the float ferry was just incredible to me. In essence, a boat made out of recycled plastic bottles. A boat for virtually nothing. Once you have your initial float made, you could then construct a house for yourself out of recycled materials and could end up with your own private island and house for very little cost. This, to me, is a very doable dream. Now, I've come across a great many uses for old 2-liter soda bottles. You know, the plastic soda bottles. All the way from bed warmers to lights and now to floating islands. This is truly recycling at its best. Now, I have a great many videos now on many different topics, and so I've decided to make several different playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interests. So please check out my playlist page. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button right below this video. Take care.